Last time he fought Tony Bellew, he had him on the floor twice in rounds 1 and 2. He was stopped late on, Ovill McKenzie, but he's a danger man and he's determined to make amends in this rematch. Sparked a controversial note though in the build-up when he accused Bellew of being on drugs. It was a brave statement to make, one of course without any foundation.
Only a very libelous statement to make.
And the voice of Colin Hart there. That's what McKenzie claimed. He said the look in Bellew's eyes when he got up from the knockdown reminded him of punters he's seen in clubs when he's worked as doorman. Safe to say that statement didn't go down very well with Mr. Bellew, who has promised revenge tonight, promised a second successive stoppage. McKenzie will unravel late on against Bellew in that first fight in December in this very arena. Will the same happen again tonight? Well, he's certainly been in shape, and we're just about to have our introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring the Commonwealth Light Heavyweight Champion from the city of Liverpool, Tony the Bomber Bellew.
Oh, quite an ovation here for Tony Bellew, who fights again in his home city. He's a popular character, an unbeaten one as well. The Commonwealth Light Heavyweight Champion, and he could leave the ring this evening with the British title too. He comes out to a famous Merseyside theme tune, the Z Cars theme tune. It's a favourite of Everton Football Club, and he's watched by some of the stars of the team ringside this evening, including Tim Cahill. Bellew has promised a Premiership performance tonight. And there's plenty on the line for him. Not only the 2 belts up for grabs tonight, but a possible showdown with WBO Light Heavyweight Champion Nathan Cleverly. The pair were going to fight in May. Bellew came in as a late replacement when Jürgen Bremer, the German, pulled out. He was himself forced to pull out when he couldn't make the weight. The animosity between him and Cleverly suggested that it's a fight that will sell, and it's a fight that can be made. Cleverly ringside this evening as well. Expect some fireworks if Bellew wins between those two. Tail of the tape. Bellew, a slightly younger man, slightly taller as well. McKenzie, more experienced, had nearly twice the fights, double the rounds, but the power all lies with Bellew. 66% KO ratio, and when he punches, you stay hit. We're joining our MC Mark Burtis for the introductions right away.
Frank Warren, in association with FrankWarren.tv and sponsored by Hill Dickinson Lawyers, proudly present 12 3-minute rounds for the Commonwealth and vacant British Light Heavyweight Championship. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports HD, Saturday fight night from the Echo Arena here in Liverpool. Your officials are appointed by the Commonwealth Boxing Council and the British Boxing Board of Control. And your 3 scoring judges at ringside are Mr. Richie Davies of All Hallows Kent, Mr. Phil Edwards of Preston, and Mr. Dave Parris of Leeds. Your British Boxing Board of Control steward in charge is Mr. Jeff Bolter, and your Commonwealth Boxing Council representative, Mr. Robert Smith. When the action begins, your referee in charge is Mr. Terry O'Connor of Birmingham. Your timekeeper at the bell is Barry Pinder. And now to introduce the contestants. Firstly, the challenger, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white and red shorts, with a record of 18 wins from 28 contests, with 7 wins by knockout. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 12 stone, 6 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting and introducing, from Derby, the challenger for the title, Ovill McKenzie. And across the ring, his opponent this evening, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue and white shorts, weighing in 12 stone, 6 pounds, 8 ounces, one of British boxing's big hitters. He is currently undefeated in 15 professional contests with 10 KOs to his name. Please welcome from the city of Liverpool, the 3-time ABA heavyweight champion and reigning and defending Commonwealth light heavyweight champion, Tony the Bomber Bellew. Your referee will now give his final instructions to both boxers. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 3-minute rounds for the Commonwealth and vacant British Light Heavyweight Championship.
Referee Terry O'Connor with his final instructions to Tony Bellew and Ovill McKenzie. Don't take your eyes off this one. Last time they met, it was explosive. Bellew down twice in the first 2 rounds. McKenzie down twice late on. Stopped in the 9th. How's this one going to pan out? I'm joined ringside, as ever, by Colin Hart. Good evening, Colin. Who's your money on?
Good evening, Bellew. I don't think he'll be as stupid as he was last time, leaving himself wide open. Ovill McKenzie's on the floor, but it was a slip. The amazing thing, if you remember, Ian, that was well after midnight when they fought last time, and there was hardly anybody watching in the arena. Tonight, it's packed out.
That went on after James DeGale and Paul Smith up here at the Liverpool Echo Arena. It was a long night, that one. We were on commentary, as Colin said, into the early hours of the morning. It was worth staying up for, though. It was full of excitement. As Colin said, Bellew got sloppy in those opening 2 rounds. They were heavy knockdowns as well. They weren't.
No, he did well. He did well to get up from them. But he shouldn't have been there in the first place, as he knows only too well.
Remember, he came into the press conference. Do you remember that, Colin, afterwards? And
yes,
said he wouldn't be so stupid again. He got caught there by McKenzie when he was up on the ropes.
McKenzie's dangerous.
He's a bit wild, isn't he? One of those.
You never know where the punches are coming from.
Could nail you. Bellew's upright, isn't he? Sometimes that chin does get exposed. I think Nathan Cleverly sat ringside somewhere. He was sat just a couple of feet from us earlier. He's now over with promoter Frank Warren in the expensive seats. Natural fight to be made, isn't it, between these two? That was a good shot from Bellew, a left hand. McKenzie took it well. And the
Bellew's got great physical advantages in height and reach, and it should just really, for a round or two, just keep McKenzie on the end of that long left jab.
I think sometimes he gets a bit carried away, though, doesn't he, Bellew? He wants to please. An excitable kind of character. We saw that when he was drafted in as an opponent for Cleverly. To be pulled apart at the press conference, and these comments from McKenzie have riled Bellew. Interesting sort of anecdote from the press conferences in the week. That shows you how tough it can be to be a pro boxer sometimes. McKenzie wasn't in attendance because he couldn't get a babysitter, Colin. Couldn't get that with a Premiership footballer, would you?
Well, it's amazing.
Bellew, a proud family man as well. two sons. He's also a qualified accountant, would you believe?
Yes, he used to work for the Liverpool City Council, didn't he?
An intelligent guy.
Well, there was not much about anything in that round. There was plenty of menacing stares and shrugs and goodness knows what else, but hardly a decent punch landed. But I think I'll give it Bellew because I think he outclared him.
Well, we've seen some a few cuts in our time, haven't we, Colin, ringside? I don't think I've ever seen a boxer's elbow cut, though.
He must have grazed it when he fell in that opening seconds.
I know that's it's Tony Bellew. Maybe it's
is it Bellew?
Yeah, it's Bellew. I think maybe it's a rope burn.
Wow, it's a pretty bad rope burn.
Maybe he'd fallen in the gym or something and had a scar there or a scab that's been knocked off. But I don't think that's the kind of cut that's going to stop a fight, is it, Colin?
It'll be the first time ever, I would think.
Round 2.
Hope he doesn't make it as an excuse. Mind me, it's probably a better excuse than a bad toe.
Colin Hart's vociferous views on David Hay and his bad toe were given plenty of newspaper print yesterday in the Sun. Although not enough, Colin tells me.
Never enough.
Never enough. Back to this one. Second round. Bellew's in the blue shorts with the white trim. McKenzie in the white shorts with the red trim. It's Bellew who comes to the ring as the Commonwealth light heavyweight champion, and the British title, Lonsdale belt, up for grabs as well. Vacated by Nathan Cleverly, who sits ringside, watching intently at the moment. And looks referee Terry O'Connor is not happy about something here.
It's a bit messy. He's got his back to us, so we can't even try and lip read what he's saying to them. But as you say, he's not happy about something or other.
So no alarms so far for Tony Bellew. Unlike
or for McKenzie, for that matter.
No, unlike the first fight. It's a real thriller minute.
Well, that often happens, isn't it? They're now wary of each other. They both
tasted the power, haven't they?
Yeah, they've tasted the and suffered the knockdowns, and they don't want to be humiliated again. See, McKenzie's very wild with his punches, and of course he was wild when he knocked Bellew down, but Bellew, of course, wasn't concentrating.
McKenzie might have the biggest biceps I've ever seen on a boxer, Colin. They're enormous, aren't they?
Certainly for a light heavyweight.
So, really is sculpted. It's Bellew whose power told in the first fight. He wore McKenzie down, then dropped him twice. Controversial stoppage, though. I remember McKenzie's manager, Frank Maloney, wasn't very happy. Still not much in the way of action. That got the crowd excited, but nothing was landed. McKenzie just two punches there, glancing off the head of Bellew. Bellew sticks the jab out. It's a left hand from the Scouser. Oh, good left hand from Bellew. McKenzie felt that one. Took it well, though. That was the kind of punch that had McKenzie in trouble in the first fight.
Well, I suppose you must give that round to Bellew again because very few punches landed, and the ones that did land were thrown by Bellew. McKenzie's really doing nothing at all.
Dean Powell in Tony Bellew's corner. Just working a little mouse from under his left eye.
You know, when you think that Bellew's likely to take the British title to go along with his Commonwealth title, and you think back to the great John Conte from Liverpool, who was British light heavyweight champion, and then European, and then world champion. Somehow, I can't see Bellew winning a world title. I could be wrong, obviously, but he doesn't look as if he's world championship material.
Round 3.
I tell you what though, Colin, he's likely to get a shot, isn't he?
Well,
against
if you're promoted by Frank Warren, you are likely to get a shot.
Well, he's been manoeuvred to this.
Pardon?
Manoeuvred to this title fight with Nathan Cleverly.
Well, then he'll get a shot, Cleverly, but
we're hearing rumours that it could be next.
Happens.
It could be in Liverpool.
Well, it would certainly this arena here, the Echo Arena, at its full capacity can hold 11,000 people, and I wouldn't have thought you could have. The tickets will be snapped up well before the date if it's announced that a fight will take place here in Liverpool. No doubt about that. Particularly with a couple of other. I mean, Paul Smith on the card as well, and Paul got married today. That's why he's not on the card tonight. And his brothers, none of his brothers are on, of course, because they're at the family wedding. It's amazing. After that explosive encounter recently, we're talking about somebody's wedding. I mean, there's nothing really going on up there.
No, it's a cagey affair so far, this one. We're into the third round. Can't really remember. It's got the shots from Bellew. I think that left hand in the second round. But apart from that, there's not been too much landed. And as Colin said, having tasted the power, both boxers in that first fight, far more cautious approach. It's quite rare, isn't it, Colin, for rematches to be as good as the first fight?
Yeah, there have been plenty that have, but the majority have not. Just take the first Ben Eubank fight, which was a tremendous war. Ended with Eubank stopping Ben, I think around round 10 or something. And the rematch was, as you say, more like a chess match, and they went 12 rounds.
I guess Ali Frazier.
Well, which ones? 1, 2 or 3? Well, 1 and 3 were fantastic. Number 2, which is the one I wasn't at, wasn't that great. But then there was no title at stake in that fight. Foreman was the champion.
Frazier.
No, the second fight, there wasn't a title at stake. It was a non-title fight because Foreman had won the title.
Well, we're chatting away here ringside because there's not too much going on so far.
A lot of posing.
3 rounds. It's looked good, but nothing really landed or really got through. Bellew shrugging his shoulders. A couple of jabs there from McKenzie. Bell goes for the end of the third.
A decent shot. I've got to have to give that an even round because neither of them won it. Goes against the grain, but neither of them landed a decent shot. And if Bellew wasn't a local boy, I think maybe the crowd would be getting a bit restive. I think they're being very generous. There's no years ago there would be certainly in London they used to slow hand clap if they weren't happy.
Well, Bellew looks relaxed in the corner. I have a feeling, Colin, that the longer the fight goes on, the more it might favour Bellew. As the
yes, I suppose so.
You know, as the first fight went.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out.
Well, if there's all this so-called animosity between them, you'd think they'd want to hit each other.
Well, Bellew said he'd ran the drug slur back down McKenzie's throat. Plenty of talk of punishing him and taking his revenge. So far, not in evidence.
Well, maybe he would think he might bore him to defeat. Well, I'm just wondering whether when the referee's going to say to these two, hey, you're supposed to be having a fight, get on with it. Let's see something.
I suppose there's been enough in the way of kind of action and... it's just cagey, isn't it? Sort of refusing to fight. McKenzie gets through with another jab. Goes by the nickname of the upsetter, Ovill McKenzie. It will be an upset if he wins tonight.
Well, at the moment, he's upsetting me. He's not doing anything.
To be fair, nor's Bellew.
No, I agree. Neither of them.
Another good jab there from McKenzie. Of course, we have 3 judges scoring this ringside. Phil Edwards, Richie Davis and Dave Parris. The battle of the jabs at the moment. The other day someone rated Bellew's jab as the one of the best in the light heavyweight division.
What, worldwide?
Yep.
Who rated that? Mrs. Bellew?
Anthony Farnell, I think, ex-trainer.
Really? Well, he would, wouldn't he?
I just get the impression that Cleverly might just be a bit too quick and busy for Bellew. Does carry that equaliser though, doesn't he, Tony? Even if it's not been in evidence so far in this fight. I guarantee, Colin, if he does win this by stoppage, you lean over the ropes and tell Cleverly that he's next.
Hope so.
Bit more action, but we're very near the end of the 4th round here. Be interesting to see the punch stats. I don't think too many have been landed. 1 punch, says Mr. Harnell, our ringside technician. He's probably right. I wonder how the judges are scoring it, Colin. How did you have that round?
Well, I had to give it to Bellew because I think he landed 1 punch more than
I don't know. I think McKenzie might have got through with a few jabs. Very hard rounds to score.
Very disappointing so far. We expected some fireworks.
Well, all the talk has been of knockouts and, as we said, a bit of revenge. That was one of McKenzie's jabs.
Corners, 10 seconds.
That was about as good as it got.
Seconds out. Round 5.
You know, when I think back to my youth, it shows you what a good memory I've got. And I think of Freddie Mills, British light heavyweight champion and world champion. I mean, every time Freddie went in the ring, it was a war. Crowds loved him.
To be fair to Bellew, usually fairly exciting, isn't he, Colin?
Yeah, well, he's
Seen
certainly...
him in some decent scraps. He's been on the floor a couple of times and some good stoppage wins.
But that was then. We're talking about now.
I guess he's...
You're only as good as your last fight, you know.
He does need to put himself, I suppose, in the shot window, doesn't he, for a fight with Cleverly.
Well, you know, if you're British and the Commonwealth champion, you've every right to fight for the world title.
Every right, or
well,
right?
You've got you're unbeaten. You've got 2 titles. There's nothing to stop. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying you'll be ordered to fight for the world title.
No, I know what you mean.
But Cleverly can quite legitimately make a defence against a double champion who's unbeaten.
I'm trying to remember if Bellew's got a WBO ranking.
He soon will have.
Yeah, if he doesn't, he probably will do. A A lot of Frank Warren fighters are ranked by the WBO. I thought Bellew probably does. So as soon as he's in the top 15, then he's a legitimate opponent.
Bellew.
Yeah, some action's broken out at last. As Bellew doubled the jab.
You know, Ovill McKenzie has lost 10 fights, has he not?
Yes. I think, let me check. 18 and 10 his record, 7 stoppages.
Yeah, 10 fights he's lost.
Including that last.
You know, why are we trying to talk him up as being somebody special, which he isn't? He won 18 and lost 10.
Bellew trapped in a neutral corner and tied up as Terry O'Connor just separates the two boxers. Bell goes for the end of the 5th. A long look from Bellew at McKenzie as that round ended.
Well, again, I for the life of me cannot give McKenzie a round.
Wonder what the message is in the corner. Mark McAllister taking over the training duties from Anthony Farnell. Dean Powell's in there as well. And plenty of experience from Powell. Just not much in the way of action at the moment. As we said, if
well, we were looking forward to a real crash bang wallop type of fight.
10 seconds.
All their animosity being unleashed. And
Seconds out. Round 6.
what have we got so far? Tedium.
well, it can only get better. It can only get more exciting. Better from Bellew. It's funny, isn't it, Colin? Some fights can be absolute classics. That Heffron against Barry Jones earlier this evening caught light from the first belt, and others can just be damp squibs. And I guess Bellew was very conscious of the fact that he got sloppy in his last fight against McKenzie. He needed to tighten up. Maybe this is good preparation if he does fight Nathan Cleverly. This time McKenzie gets through. Bellew just shakes his head as if to say he'd not been hurt.
At least McKenzie started throwing some leather with some intent.
Well, perhaps Bellew just feels that he needs to, in his own mind, put in a performance where he's concentrated for 12 rounds. He's not got sloppy. He'll give him some confidence going into a possible fight with Cleverly. Trying to think of other reasons why he may be fighting like this, Colin. It's definitely playing on his mind, I guess, the 2 knockdowns from the first fight. Bellew to score with a couple of jabs. Very much on the back foot, Tony Bellew, as he has been all night. Is this the type of style that might give Cleverly problems, Colin? Do you think this kind of cagey back foot boxing?
Well, Cleverly does go out to have a fight, doesn't he?
Mm.
And I think Cleverly, if he's sitting there tonight licking his lips.
Better from Bellew. Oh, good right hand over the top. Bellew just very, very slowly beginning to throw a few more punches here. Well, bell for the end of the 6th, halfway through the fight. Colin Hart's scorecard has Bellew well on top, winning 5 rounds to 1 at the moment.
No. It's I've got it 4 rounds to 1 with 1 even.
Pick up some pictures here of Ricky Burns, who is maybe 30 minutes away from defending his WBO super featherweight title against Nicky Cook, the 3rd defence of that belt. And he looks confident back there in the dressing room.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 7.
Second half of the fight coming up.
Let's hope it's more lively than the first half.
It's got to be more exciting. Round 7 of 12 here. And three ringside judges scoring it.
They're all sitting up on high stools, the 3 judges. I'm just waiting for one of them to drop off.
He continues to box defensively here off the back foot. And McKenzie, content to follow Bellew around the ring.
You know, I'm very disappointed in Bellew tonight because here he is fighting in front of his home fans in Liverpool. You would think he would want to go out and give them something to roar him on about.
Well, it's a big stage for him, isn't it? Especially with Cleverly sat here ringside, and this is
even more so. They should really put on a show.
First time, remember, that Bellew's fought since that sort of abortive fight against Cleverly in May. And we've got some wrestling here in Bellew's corner, and Terry O'Connor telling off Bellew.
Telling him off or making a suggestion?
Telling him to throw a bit more leather. We're going to have the ropes tightened between rounds. See Mike Goodall, who puts up the ring. He's been told something by Frank Warren's staff, and it was a gesture as if to say the ropes weren't tight enough. It's going to make a huge difference to this fight, I don't think. Right hand there from Bellew. The crowd have been remarkably supportive at the moment.
Well, I suppose they're not going to boo their local lad, are they?
No.
You know, I've been sport, I suppose, seen some of the great light heavyweights, Bob Foster, Chris Finnegan, say John Conte, Freddie Mills. Oh dear.
Conte, of course, a big hero of Bellew. He's walked into the ring before.
Well, tell me who won that round, Ian.
I think Bellew did, didn't he?
I think so.
Not by much. Still not seen any punch stats come up onto our screens. It'd make for interesting reading if they did.
Yes, as you know, I totally disregard punch stats because it's quality of punches landed that counts, not the number thrown. You know, they say somebody scored 50 punches landed. They may be tippy-tappy punches where somebody's landed 30 real good shots.
Corners, 10 seconds.
The Bellew's looking very relaxed in his corner.
Out. Round 8.
I guess he feels confident that he's well on top here. But he's only 4 or 5 rounds away from getting his hands on Lonsdale belt. Given what a student Tony Bellew is of boxing and the fight game, I'm sure he'll be a proud man if he does lift that British title at the end of this one. He's a real character outside of the ropes. Good talker, as most Liverpudlians are. Just marked up now under the right eye. Just a little mouse. Oh, good shot that from Bellew, right hand. Sent the spray flying from McKenzie's head, but he took it well. This is better from Bellew. Begins to get into the fight now. Signs here, Colin, that Bellew may just be going on the attack a bit.
Yes, there is. Or should I say there are. And about time too. But now, you know, he should keep up, keep pressing, going forward. I mean, you know, left jab, right cross. That's what he needs to do.
Keep it simple. And keep it effective. There's that jab. I think as well for McKenzie, big opportunity tonight with that British and Commonwealth title on the line. You don't get too many chances in your career if you're a bit of a journeyman to fight for prestigious belts. At the moment, McKenzie's not leaving it all in the ring. Jab that from Bellew. Oh, just made to miss with a body shot.
You know, he's so much superior to McKenzie, and it's now beginning to show.
Mate, you wonder how McKenzie had him on the floor twice in
exactly.
In the first fight. He's done nothing tonight. It does take two to tango. We've been maybe a bit harsh on Bellew, but McKenzie really hasn't done a thing, has he, Colin?
No, not at all. No. It's a very disappointing performance from both of them, to be honest. But, you know, let's face it, McKenzie's a journeyman. I mean, he was never considered championship material, and before he had Bellew on the floor.
Well, I guess was a former Commonwealth champion McKenzie. Didn't have that belt very long.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Peter Hamer back in September 2006 to lift the Commonwealth title.
Round 9.
Hamer stopped by Dean France's first defence. So apart from that, not done too much. Kind of fighter who's perhaps a bit better than his record suggests. It's only Francis and Bellew who have stopped him. They're really doing at the start of this round either, though. Bellew just showboating a little here in the neutral corner. Smattering of applause as a couple of punches do land.
I mean, you've got Bellew fighting for 2 titles, local lad, and the crowd are sitting here silent, which tells you all you need to know.
Oh, he said they are being patient, though.
Yeah, I say because he's local lad. Don't often hear people booing their own, do you?
No. Well, maybe there's a bigger plan here at work for Bellew. You see Nathan Cleverly come around ringside. We'll have a quick word with Sky Television, I think. I wonder what he's making of it all.
I think he'll be licking his lips, saying, "Oh yes, I'll take Bellew in the autumn."
Well, we've got 30 seconds left or so of this 9th round. Still nothing doing, really. We're watching, waiting patiently, but this fight has just not sparked into life. This was the round, of course, where I was going to say this was the round where the stoppage happened. It was the 8th, in fact, in the first fight. So we're into deeper waters than these two went first time around, but I say it's easy to go 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds without a punch being thrown. At this rate, Colin, they could go about 20.
Oh, absolutely. I can't understand why Terry O'Connor, the referee, hasn't tried to provoke them into hitting each other more often.
And there are there's Cleverly being interviewed by Sky Television ringside. As you say, Colin, on this performance, he must really fancy his chances against Bellew.
Absolutely. Thinking, I don't suppose for a minute. I mean, he's a clever lad, is Nathan Cleverly. He doesn't want to put down Bellew too much because nobody will want to see them fight. So I don't know what he's saying to them, but it's possible they respect. They've got too much respect for each other, these two, in view of what happened last time.
Tenth round here. Can Bellew step on the gas, find a stoppage or a knockout from somewhere? He was all over McKenzie like a rash in that first fight. Looks quite happy though, just to get the job done on points this evening. There's any way that McKenzie can think that he's winning this fight. It's like a glorified sparring session, Colin, but I'm sure sparring's tougher than this.
I've seen a lot better sparring than this, as you have.
Oh, good body shot from Bellew. Left hand, and it does bring a slight ripple of applause from the crowd. Now a good right hand around the corner. And another one. He's got McKenzie trapped on the ropes here. Crowd come to life. Back comes McKenzie. Tell you what it reminds me of, Colin, it's that fight between, we'll come back to that, Terry O'Connor having a word here with Bellew. Not sure what that's about.
No, me either. He saw something in that when they got close. He saw something that we certainly didn't see.
I think
which
Bellew
he didn't like.
I think Bellew was being a bit clever with the head. So it reminds me of the first fight between Danny Williams and Audley Harrison. Do you remember that one at out at Excel?
Yeah.
Where they talked the talk beforehand and then decided to walk the walk, and the 10th, 10th or 11th round when Harrison was dropped, wasn't he, by Williams, and that was sort of the only action in the fight. Now a bit of tape's come loose from McKenzie's glove.
Something exciting to see. They just cut the tape off his glove.
Give us something to talk about. Frank Warren just caught Bellew's eye then and said something to him ringside. Looked lively, I think. Bellew, a bit of showboating. Glares at McKenzie. Just misses with an uppercut, but looks good. Not much substance behind it. We hear the bell now. Bellew kind of nods.
Disconsolately nodding, I think. I think he's saying, I'm trying to hit him, but it's not happening.
Yeah, very much not happening at the moment. Well, have you got it, Colin? You must have Bellew winning fairly comfortably.
I'll just add up. 99 points to Mr. Bellew, and
not many to Mr. McKenzie, I don't think.
92.
So Bellew well on course at the moment to retain his Commonwealth light heavyweight title and lift the British title. I'm sure he'll be
round 11.
A little disappointed with the performance that he's put in. McKenzie on the attack. A rare attack for him, but Bellew covers up. McKenzie just puts the jab out as a feeler. Both look a bit gun shy at the moment. Well, that's better from McKenzie. Bellew shakes his head at his opponent now. And he waves him on. As McKenzie does land with a couple of shots. That fiery temper that Bellew sometimes has. Well, I guess, Colin, after the last fight, he said he wanted to put in a performance where he didn't make mistakes, that he'd have a short career if he kept getting caught like he did against McKenzie. And perhaps this is a confidence booster for him. Proves that he can stay out of trouble.
And a confidence booster as long as he doesn't watch the tape of this fight.
Bellew again just smiles at McKenzie.
He's making McKenzie miss.
I think a low blow went in there. Looking from the look on Bellew's face, a look of disgust really. I'm sure he's okay. Now McKenzie's going to be told by Terry O'Connor to keep the punches up.
I hope he said please. Looking round the ring, I think that's Louis Sahar of Everton sitting there with Tim Cahill.
Yeah, there's a few Everton players over there, I think.
They probably had bigger, better fights on the training ground.
Well, Bellew does train with Everton on occasion.
Does he?
Yep. Uses the facilities at Goodison Park, the School of Science. There goes the bell for the end of the 11th, and Bellew raises his arm as he goes back to his corner.
Well,
Tim Cahill sort of rubbing his eyes at ringside, Colin. Trying to stay awake.
Well, I don't know who to give that last one. I suppose you better give it to Bellew. He did.
Let's hope the rest of the title fights are a bit better than this tonight, Colin.
It can't be worse, can they?
Corners, 10 seconds.
It is so disappointing because I was really
Seconds out.
looking forward.
And final round.
Bellew says something there to McKenzie. Not sure what it was.
Yeah, it was something polite because they shook hands warmly enough.
I wonder for a second there whether he was telling him to come out and fight.
Well, he's got one of the belts. It's really his job to look like a champion, fight like a champion.
He's given the stage a big home crowd in here tonight, and that Cleverly fight awaiting. I mean, I don't think Bellew's in any danger of losing this one. Well ahead on Colin Hart's scorecard, and we're not the ones who score it, but I'm sure the three ringside judges as well must have.
I wonder what our colleagues at Sky Television have got this time.
I'm guessing they have Bellew winning comfortably as well. We're not seeing a scorecard from Jim Watt. We've got left a minute and a half of this fight. It won't end a minute and a half too soon, I don't think.
I think the biggest applause will be when the final bell sounded. We don't have to watch anymore.
Well, I guess job done for Tony Bellew. Well, it will be in 60 seconds or so. Crowd are almost desperate, demanding a bit of action here.
Good right hand that Bellew landed just then.
Just beginning to see a bit more action in this 12th round. McKenzie will go home to Derby, relatively well paid. I'd be very surprised if he went home with the belts. For all the talk of knockouts and slurs and insults before the fight, it's been a tame old affair. Really, McKenzie's not, been. If Bellew's been a little disappointing, McKenzie really hasn't been at the races at all. And there goes the bell. McKenzie thinks he's won it.
Oh dear
So
me,
does
was
Bellew.
I never been more pleased to hear a final bell for a long time. Well, as you can hear, smattering of desultory applause, and he's fighting in his hometown. Well, for what it's worth, I've got it 119, 110. It was probably closer than that one, but I don't think McKenzie did anything. And Bellew did very little more.
So there are those punch stats. An emotional Tony Bellew.
What's all that about?
It's just the raw emotion, Colin, of
Dear me.
what he thinks is a title securing performance. I'm pretty sure it was. What can he take from that, Colin? I suppose he demonstrated that he can concentrate for 12 rounds.
Well, if you like. If you insist. I know what Mr. Conte would have done with that guy.
Where's Nathan Cleverly? Let's just, he's ringside as well. Let's just see Bellew's reaction if he does win this.
Well, he went on his
fight.
knee, went through the ropes and talked to Cleverly. I don't know what he
Ladies
said.
and gentlemen,
Something
after
rude.
12 rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision.
Not a surprise.
Judge Richie Davies scores the contest 118-111. Judge Phil Edwards 118-111. Judge Dave Paris 119-110. The winner,
Well,
and still the Commonwealth, and now the new
Mr.
British
Paris and I
light
are in
heavyweight
agreement. The
champion
other two are only
from
slightly
Liverpool,
different.
Tony
So-
Bellew.
Sometimes when you're scoring these fights this way, you think, you know, you begin to question your own judgment that you're giving it in such a wide margin. It wasn't a fight at all.